November 1st, and I took a whole day off from work to be disappointed. Um, it's Minnesota Black Robe Regiment Podcast, MBRR Pod. Thanks for stopping by for this live chat. I am outside the Olmsted County Courthouse. We were expecting to have news for you today, and we do have news, but it's not the news we wanted. But before we get to all that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I got an audience. I'm not used to this. It's weird now that I got all these people watching and see the magic behind the scenes or in front of the scenes. In front of the magic behind.
Side of the scenes.
It's not all that magical either.
You shut up, Snarky. Snarky is literally here, not just in the chat. Snarky is literally here. He made the hour drive to come over and help support Chase. But if you aren't subscribed to the channel, you need to be. And if you are a channel member, we really appreciate it. And as you guys have heard me over the last week, I've been telling you, if you aren't a channel member yet and you've been thinking about it, I would much rather you support Julia and the girls. That's been my goal from the time Chase was sentenced. And all of my hopes and wanting to set up a bigger fundraiser, just things weren't working out the way I wanted. But if you have been considering a super chat or a super thank you, or if you've been thinking about joining as a channel member, the information to send that support to Julia will be in the description of this video. And if my moderators, one of them who is slacking right now because he's just standing here watching, you guys will be able to find in the description Julia's Cash App. And remember, Thanksgiving is coming and Christmas is coming. They could use the support. It's not easy for them with Chase locked up. So we're going to give you an update, but first we're going to bring in Julia. She's used to being on camera because she's helped with some stings.
Hey guys.
Let's stand in here. We're going to have to get really close.
Yeah.
Everybody, this is Julia. This
Hi.
is Chase's significant
Significant
other. Is that the right thing? So Julia overslept this morning and she hasn't had her caffeine yet today. No caffeine. So, Julia, tell everybody a little bit about what's been going on for you and the girls since this all started.
Since this kind of all started, it's been it threw us all in for something that we we knew it was coming, but we didn't think that it would be this hard. For example, I tried to take the girls trick-or-treating yesterday. One of them didn't want to go, the other one did. It was really hard. But, we didn't get what we wanted to hear today, which was it got rescheduled to next month, which it is what it is. He would have had to stay anyway. But, we're all still here to support him and stuff, and we want the continued support as much as we can. So
how are the girls doing with Dad being locked up?
It's been really hard, especially with Nina, his biological daughter. She's only 2, and I take her to go visit him, but it's all behind a screen, so it's very hard for her to comprehend what's going on. And with my 6-year-old, she kind of knows what's going on, but she doesn't have the full idea. She just knows that Chase is gone and things are kind of hard right now.
Julia, tell everybody who watches, because people don't understand this when I talk about Chase's kids. He's taken your oldest daughter under his wing.
Yes,
He's basically adopted her.
Yes, yep.
So this is the kind. I'm gonna get emotional.
Oh.
This is the kind of guy that Chase is. All right, he's an idiot. All right, he'll tell you he's an idiot. His crowd here today has said Chase isn't. He doesn't always make good decisions, but he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
And when he met Julia, he took Julia's daughter from a previous relationship under his wing and has become her dad.
Yes.
And that's what is happening in this situation now. Is not only does Chase have a biological daughter, her name is
Evelyn.
Yep. But he has an adopt for all intents.
No, well, my oldest daughter's Evelyn, who he's taken under his wing, and then I have our youngest daughter together. She's Nina, and she's 2.
Yeah, so he's got Nina, that's 2, and her middle name is
Sky,
who is named after
a dear friend that's passed away.
Yeah, a dear friend that's passed. And so this is who Chase is, and so here we are. This is what motivates Chase. This is what motivated Julia, because Julia took part in a lot of the stuff.
I did, to protect these children.
To protect the kids.
Because I knew of all the corruption that was going on around
Julia,
here.
tell them a little bit about what we were talking about upstairs with the stings that you and Chase would do. How many times could you guys go out and do this in a week?
We were doing this during the whole week, all week long. We were messaging these guys, and to hear that these guys here only do it once every three
or 4 months.
maybe. Yeah.
So let that sink in. So Julia and Chase could, on any given day, go out and create a profile of a underage child, male or female,
Yep.
boy or girl. They don't need to message anyone. They would just put this information
yep.
out, and they would get inundated, overwhelmed with predators.
Messages on top of messages. Yep.
And that's exactly what they were doing. And yet we sit here outside of the Olmsted County Courthouse, the government center in the city of Rochester, where they only do stings, if they do them at all, with any kind of frequency or regularity. It's once every 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And then they can come in and report 7, 8, 9, sometimes upwards of 10 people that they've busted.
And then it gets turned down.
And
Yep.
and yet Chase is sitting in a detention center right now for having done what Snarky is not only on site, he's commenting in the. I'm going to make you come over here if you can. But so Chase and Julia were really doing a community service, and that's what Chase is locked up for now. There again, if he had it to do over again, he would do it different.
Yep.
He would have handled it different. Julia, what's been the hardest part? What's been the hardest part for you and the girls, Julia? Not only getting them to understand, but has there been an adjustment for the girls? I know it's been an adjustment for you.
It's still an adjustment to this day. I mean, where it doesn't get easier.
Are they asking, is Daddy coming home?
Yes, and I don't have an answer for them. I just say soon, Daddy will come home soon.
They know that you were coming here today?
Yeah.
And
well, my oldest does. My youngest, she doesn't. Yeah.
Were there any questions like, is Daddy going to be able to come home today?
Yeah, and I just said, we don't know, but he will be coming home soon.
We were all really anticipating, because as I've told you guys, the pre-sentencing investigation was a recommendation of 6 months, which was kind of a shock.
Yeah,
I think we were
I
all
was actually pretty happy about it. Yeah,
not happy that Chase was going to be locked up for
right,
6 months, but
compared to the alternative.
But compared to the 10 years that was hanging over his head with his prior record, we were kind of expecting it was going to be a pretty heavy-handed sentence. So when the PSI came back, we were actually really excited to hear 6 months. Chase was kind of elated. And then today we had a setback.
Yeah.
We came to the courthouse. We were all here mostly early.
Early enough.
Somebody slept in. I don't know why I was here before you, but we all got into the courtroom. We all sat down together. Chase's former PO sat behind us as well. She came to check in on Chase to see how that went. And we were thinking, okay, we're going to get into the family statements. We're going to see if there's any victim impact statements or anything like that. I don't even want to talk about the victim today.
Yeah.
And then the judge said that she didn't receive basically a departure request until 1:40 in the morning. We understand life's busy. Bruce Rivers is an incredibly busy attorney, but she said that she didn't see the email until 8:30 and did not have time to review the departure request, and therefore asked if Attorney Rivers was going to want that reviewed before sentencing. And of course, he didn't write it for her to say, I don't want to read it.
Yeah.
So he did ask her to review it, and the judge rescheduled the sentencing hearing for December 2nd
Second, yep.
at 9. December 2nd at 9 a.m. here in Rochester. So the nice thing about this is that Chase isn't doing extra time because of this. He would have been sitting no matter what until, what do we estimate, until right after Christmas?
Right around after Christmas,
That's-
yep.
Until right after Christmas. The bad thing is we don't have resolution right now. We don't really know what's actually going to happen. The one thing, and I think Julia's aware of this, the one thing that's kind of the wild card in this is that Judge, is it Haney? Christine Hain? Hain or Haney? Judge Christine Haney. She's a hard read.
Oh, was that not Judge Daly, though? That's his judge. Judge Daly.
Daly. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Krista Daly.
Daily. Okay. Yeah, thank you, AVA, for putting the information for Julia's Cash App in there in the chat. I appreciate that. You guys would rather look at her anyway. I don't think. So, there are. Olmsted's weird. They will do downward departures on sentencing, like we just saw this week. Somebody got 5 years for deleting someone else from this world in a traffic dispute. We have seen SA predators get 6 months probation for incredibly heinous crimes against children. And here Chase sits after making numerous busts against predators, not the least of which was Deputy Matt Adamson from the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office, who then went on for a year and a half
Yep.
to continue to victimize children, young ladies, and people inside the detention center as well.
Yep.
For a year and a half before he was caught in one of those accidental stings. Same MO, wasn't it?
Exact same MO.
Exact same MO. And the county attorney who is leading the charge on prosecuting Chase, who I believe is going to, and this is probably not fun to hear, I believe he's going to instruct his prosecuting attorney in this case to push for a maximum sentence on this. I really do. Because we know that Mark Ostrom has been he's said some not so nice things about Chase. Is that correct?
Yep.
Referred to him as a vigilante, out of control, unprofessional. Well, of course he's unprofessional. He's not a cop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to do a cop's job when you're not a cop, but
Exactly.
he was doing the cop's job. So I believe that the prosecution's going to push for much more than 6 months, if not for a maximum sentence on this, because Ostrom has made it clear he wants to make an example of Chase. He doesn't like Chase, but at the same time, you guys got a predator in Dodge County.
Mm-hmm.
You busted a predator in Dodge County, and the Dodge County sheriff actually took that information and charged that predator, and that predator ended up sitting in this very county for almost a year.
Yep.
And then got
Federally. It's pretty sure it got sent to the feds picked it up.
the one from Dodge County.
Mm-hmm.
But we know his state sentence was at least 10 years.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, his state sentence was at least 10 years, and he may have picked up Fed charges on that as well. So Chase is actually doing a community service.
Yeah.
And I know in his PSI, I think he had made the statement that they had asked him, the probation officer, the person doing the PSI had asked him if he would do this again, and he said, not the same way.
Yeah, the same way.
Yeah, not the same way. I want you guys to think about that. Chase and Julia have gone out of their way, put their lives at risk, really. Chase's mom was here today, and she had even pointed out that this person that Chase is sitting in jail for supposedly assaulting had shown up to have rough interactions with what he believed to be a minor. But then later on came out and said he was terrified of Chase, that he was in fear for his life, even though Chase on video is heard telling people to not harass him, not bother him, to not hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Chase is trying to stop this guy from doing these things, and at the same time, telling other people not to hurt him and that the cops are on the way. Now, you guys had a run-in that day with Sergeant Ben Schlegg.
Mm-hmm.
And Schlegg didn't want to hear anything Chase had to say that day, did he?
Yep, or what I had to say.
Or what Julia had to say. So this is what's, I don't mean to make it sound like she's the problem, but this is the problem with the justice system right now.
Mm-hmm.
Julia and the girls are what are left behind.
Yep.
And before you go, well, Chase could have prevented all of this by not doing what he did. No. How can we as a society sit silently when we know that right now in Rochester and Olmsted County, there are dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of people waiting to predate on children, waiting to be predators of children.
Yep.
And local law enforcement, the Rochester, Minnesota Police Department in particular, can only be bothered to do a sting once every 3 or 4 months. I guarantee you right now, Julia and I went to the local coffee place and sat down and downloaded Whisper, because that's one of the great places. Julia and I right now could go to a local coffee shop, sit down, and by the time we ordered our coffee and were able to really drink it and enjoy it, we could have a profile created and have contact with dozens of people wanting to meet underage children for nefarious reasons. And that's been their experience.
Yep.
So while they're prosecuting Chase, they're not dealing with the predators.
Exactly. They're not.
So, Julia, anything else you want to say to anybody?
I just want to thank you guys all for the support, and anything helps. The more, the merrier. If we can get people down here to come support Chase throughout these court hearings that are coming up, this next one, that mean a lot. We need all the support that we can get, and again, we appreciate you guys all. Thank you.
And don't forget, go to her Cash App if you can. I know it's tight for everybody right now. Like I don't have $1 million supporters. But,
anything helps.
But anything you guys can do will help. So even prayers. Yeah.
Yep.
You want to say anything?
Oh no, I'm done. You guys.
No, you sure?
Yeah, you guys.
Colton?
Did awesome.
Colton, you want to come over and say something? Colton's a friend and coworker.
Yep.
I love Chase very dearly. I love you guys for watching my brother Todd here. I love you guys for taking care of Julia. Him and his family are great people. Chase was trying to do the right thing. We don't always do the best things, especially when we're trying something out for the first time. But he had his heart into it. He was trying to do the right thing. And it is a complete failure on our justice system here in Olmsted County on their part of trying to,
I do have something to say.
give them the most that they can, coming after them, trying to fight and act like that pedophile was the victim. But that's all. Keep us all in your prayers, Julia, Chase, our system, our president, everybody. Thank you.
I do have one thing to say. I am grateful for all of you, and for Snarky User for driving an hour down to show support. It's the littlest things that help in this case, showing that Chase has so much support, that he is so loved, and that, a bad person isn't going to have a whole tribe show up for a court date. And so I am grateful for everybody that watches this, I'm grateful for Todd for walking into this. I'm so, so grateful for all of you that look out for Chase and Julia and the children. And we appreciate everything, especially the prayers, because we have high hopes he's going to come home to his family. Yeah. Okay, that was all. That was all.
That was awesome.
Be a better man.
Thank you.
Yes,
So-
right. It's an eye-opener.
Julia and I very much thank you guys and appreciate you. And Chase, I did get to talk to Chase this morning. I'm a little mad at the guy. I'm sitting right next to Julia, and he didn't see me.
No, he
He
just
did.
saw me.
He just saw Julia. I don't know why. I don't understand what that's all about. And I also have to say, because Snarky's standing right here, and I know I can outrun him. That's the first time anybody's ever referred to Snarky as the littlest things. I'm going to end up hearing about this in the next live stream from Snarky. But we do appreciate you guys, and Julia, I really appreciate your
Yeah.
time
Yeah,
for doing this
thank
today.
you.
So
I appreciate you.
Julia and I've never met face to face before
No.
today, so
Yeah.
I talk a lot about her. So it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Appreciate it.
You guys take care. I took the day off from work, so I think I'm going to go home and do a chicken stream on this beautiful November 1st. So might try to talk Snarky. No, put Snarky to work. Make him drive to my house and clean out the chicken pen. So I really appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Like I said, if you're thinking about joining the channel and you haven't yet, and you have to make a decision between the channel and channel membership and me, please give it to Julia for now until we can get her the support she needs, at the very least, so we can get the girls some something for Christmas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that means the world to me. So my friends, until next time, fight for your freedom, it is yours. Fight for your liberty, it belongs to you. And Sic Semper Tyrannis.
Awesome. Thank you.
Now let's see.